Welcome back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show here on WKYC. Guys, the Cavs will play the Hawks this afternoon. All right, we will look for them to bounce back in Atlanta after they lost to the Hawks at home.
NBA Cup game.
Of course, the big NBA Cup. We're all locked into that. But the big game in the next few days is Sunday, where the Cavs look to get revenge against another team and a more important team. That's Boston, and this game will be at home. G, how big is this game for the Cavaliers on Sunday?
Really big.
And with Kristaps Porzingis, they lost without the Celtics not having him. Now they got to play against them again, but with him.
This is a measuring stick game. You lost in Boston. You want to come back and you want to show Boston that not only are we as good as team as you, but this is what you have to look forward to in the playoffs. You're going to have to beat us at home. I think it's a great opportunity to improve their defense, run guys off the three-point line, and show the NBA that, look, we are legit. Until you can beat the Boston Celtics and show that you can beat them consistently, people are going to look at the early start and say, yeah, that's good. You guys have improved. But how good are you against the champs?
Porzingis changes things drastically for Boston, in a good way for them, not in a good way for the Cavs. It gives them size to guard Evan Mobley with. Remember, go back even to the playoff series last year, Porzingis wasn't available, and Mobley obviously had a great series against Boston. It really gives them the opportunity to play five wide and spread the floor. Cavs have struggled guarding the three-point line. We talked about on the YouTube show. They're the second worst team in the league right now in defending the three-point line by percentage. That's all Boston does is shoot threes. The Cavs have to do a better job of getting out to the shooters, closing out, running guys off the line, forcing the ball out of their hands. It should be a point of emphasis here, starting with the game against the Hawks here shortly, and then carrying over into the Boston game. It's a big game. I agree with you, G. They have to prove that they can beat Boston. Boston at full health now with Porzingis. It's going to be that much more difficult to do. Darius Garland had a terrible game last time against Boston. I don't think he'll be that badly. He'll play that poorly again this time around. The Cavs just didn't shoot it well against Boston. The way that Boston switches defensively, it slowed their ball movement down. The Cavs have to get back to working both sides of the floor. We talked about the drive, kick, swing. You didn't see a lot of that against the Celtics the first time around. Hopefully they can get back into some of that Sunday.
When the Cavs played in Boston last week, they were without not a player as important as Porzingis, but three key bench guys, Karis LeVert, Dean Wade, and Isaac Okoro, all missed that game. Now, Okoro's been back. LeVert and Wade have not gotten back yet. Do we know if those guys are likely to play by Sunday, Mike?
I was told that Dean Wade is trending towards playing on Sunday, and Karis is a game-time decision today against the Hawks. So
I wouldn't play him today. If he's a game-time decision, I'd just sit them both and bring them back, I guess, Sunday. We'll see. So it is possible that both of these teams could be completely, Max Strus will still be out, but completely, besides him, all hands on deck, which would be cool to see, basically a full complement. And, yeah, the Cavs have hit a little rocky patch here. They did not play well against. The game was close. The final score was close, but I didn't think the Cavs played particularly well against Boston, and obviously they didn't play well against Atlanta. They've after starting 15-0, they're 2-2 in their last four. So taking care of business today against Atlanta would be nice, and then we're all going to be locked into that Sunday game. But I'm curious to see. I mean, you think about this Celtics team. They won a championship without one of their best players. Yeah. Porzingis is what, their third best player?
I would say so. Yeah. I mean, they're a very deep team. He makes them even deeper. But I will say on Monday, if the Cavs can get a win against the Hawks, they redeem themselves for what they did last night, and then you could beat the Celtics. I think that we get back on the feel-good train, and we start to think about this team possibly winning, 60-plus games in a season.
That's true. If they win their next two games, they will have defeated every team they've played this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they would have avenged their only two losses. Mike, are you confident in this team going into the game?
Yeah, I mean, I like your chances. They've been much better at home despite the loss to Atlanta on Wednesday. Last year, in the final regular season game against Boston at home, was the Dean Wade 22-point fourth quarter comeback.
Yeah.
The Porzingis thing adds an element of not nuance, a little new flavor to the rivalry because he wasn't there in the playoffs last year.
How did he fit in there? He's played one game since he's been back, right?
He scored 16 points.
Did they win?
Yeah.
You wonder if there's any growing pains because they haven't played with him in a long time.
Yeah, you know, the thing about the Celtics is they move the ball very well. They find open guy. They seem to always make the extra pass. And Porzingis is a guy who can affect the game not only offensively but defensively. Now, you know, you got a 7-foot-plus guy under the rim as a rim protector. Al Horford is a guy who can stretch the floor. So when you look at Porzingis and bringing him back, it puts more of an emphasis on now. We will see if Evan Mobley has really taken that step, because now he still needs to be effective against length and still needs to be effective, you know, playing against guys his size or taller.